Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome to Simply Bedrock. I deleted a whole bunch of recording stuff, had a whole bunch of errors happen, so forth and so on. My computer got completely messed up. And I tried to put together something with some clips, and it just didn't turn out right, so I just kind of postponed everything and decided to start a new episode off right here. I think I'm going to call this actually episode 1, because the series is actually really starting in, and I've really gotten into the server and, like, really been enjoying myself, so forth and so on. This is a little skin I made just for Halloween time. It's got a little eye on the back, eye on the front. Don't know which way I'm looking there. Eyes in the back of my head. Little Halloween skin, thought it'd be fun. But so, I wonder what that looks like with the armor on. So you can't see anything in the back. Can't. Oh, nice. The little thing comes right down to the spot, so it doesn't really look. Yeah, that's pretty funny. Um, but yeah, we've been working on quite a bit here. So we have this thing that's going to be maybe dismantled and moved a little that way. It's too close to my original base. I took out all the ice that was here because honestly, I kept having mob spawning problems. I had all that carpet up. It didn't really do anything for the mob spawning. So also just a heads up, like part of my recording problem has been voice not coming through correctly, and I think I finally, figured it out. I'm not sure. I'll see this clip played back and listen and hear if I can actually hear myself. Because God knows everyone loves to hear themselves talk, right? And I'm kind of hoping to know if you guys can hear me. But so I got all that water cleared out and realized, wow, I have a lot of sand underneath of this, and I'm also gonna have to just go around clearing out water in the frozen area just for that purpose, because it's like easy revealing. But my original base thing down here, I'm slowly taking things down. I'm gonna expand on this and make, I think, maybe 2 or 3 different ones. I might move this entrance back, forward, get it out of the way somehow. I'm gonna, of course, try to keep the base flow of how everything looks. Maybe I'll chop that off at a point a little more or something. Got all that stuff going. Still gonna be leaving, this down here, different farms and stuff, because this is gonna be like a farm area. I'll AFK. Big Baby was working on the nether tunnel and needed a lot of nether wart, so I built this big nether farm down here. It gives like 3.5 stacks per harvest when it's full, something like that. And replanting is done. Like I did all those vines and moved around and expanded my vine farm because Chris needed some vines and stuff. And just little ways, like in Big Baby's case, I traded for quartz, and in Chris's case, I traded for diamonds. Best thing to get is diamonds because they're so important. My mine, it's down there still going off forever. But this place is sort of being chopped down and taken apart and turned just into farms. I'm going to be taking many of these barrels out and stuff because I'm trying to make a trading hall. I'm going to have to move this building. Yeah, sorry for the mess. I took all this stuff down, and this is just what the bottom of the lake looked like, basically. But this is going to be moved over. I was making a trading hall sort of thing, but then I have no stations in here, and these guys hooked up to my stations down below, and I'm like, uh-huh. Too close, too close. They'll hook up to the barrels down there too, or something, possibly. So I'm going to have to move that over in that direction over there, I took down the stray farm that I had been working on. I don't even know if I had actually shown that yet, because I'm kinda don't want to go back and watch my own last video to see where I'm at. I figured I'd make this a bit of a more smooth, non-edited episode. I don't know why I'm doing this. I mean, I didn't even need to fly. I could have just gone through my new nether portal bypass that I made. I decided that the stray farm needed to be all the way over here, because, well, I mean, quite honestly, over there, I had no way of getting supercharged creepers except for making them somewhere way far away. And I found this little oasis that was within the bounds of my claim that I basically did a whole bunch of measuring. I went around and found all the spots where the snow was melted and went to what they were, and then did some calculations for the size of the claim that it's allowed to be, trying to find where I could finagle a place with no snow and that rains and still be able to use or because I already built stuff, you know. I didn't want to have to try and remember what everything looked like and return it back to normal. I mean, or anything like that, or move things away or whatever, and I didn't want to go over some huge amount. But then, after I had thought, I was like, oh, I know exactly where I'm going to put this. I found this little oasis that was actually close enough. I mean, I've still got an extra 100 blocks that I can play with in this area, and so I made it. It's a base that I'm making. Holy crap! I forgot to turn this off, and it worked! Oh my god! I don't know if I can turn him into a supercharged creeper in the minecart. I think so, but it might break. But I wasn't 100% done with this. Next time I'll have to make sure not to despawn him then. Because from what I can tell, that means I now have a creeper in my creeper keeper. Now, I wasn't quite done building this area. This is having... I'm going to need to make a little observation deck for checking on how many creepers I have. Because that's a hard land. But yeah, this is actually the point of this whole thing, is this is a little tiny mob spawner right here. And the whole point is this system right here, this is a flusher, this is a flusher. And it's on a clock down here. And there's some dispensers as well for extra flushing in other spots. And this whole thing is designed to only be able to spawn zombies, skeletons, creepers, and then it flushes them out. It's annoying. I mean, I was thinking about eventually maybe making a mob sorter, but at the same time this works, so I might keep it that way, you know. Oh, yep. I need to turn it on. This is it off. So I must have left this on, and it flushed that creeper out, because I need to finish my perimeter, so there's not very much. Now that I have a creeper in there, I'm not allowed to fly away from this place, because it'll despawn if I go to fly to my actual portal. I'm just needing to, like, spawn a chicken or something in there so I can lightning strike him. But this is the ultimate farm right here. This is a stray farm. I based the original design off of Silent Whisper's beacon farm, and then I added an off switch because his farm has no off switch, and off is very, very server friendly. Now, I modified this also to deal with the fact that we're on a server with massive amounts of players, and if you're just sending things into the nether, you end up like busting mob cap and stuff, and you either have to calculate out perfectly and stuff like that, and you can really lag out the game and crash the game. And I mean, it's great to have those massive like mob farms like the Guardian farm, but we have one here. Making another farm like that went into the nether would require me actually sitting down with well, not physically sitting down, but me getting down with the admins on the server, talking to them about, trying to convince them to let me do it, that I won't break the server, I promise. So, I mean, I wouldn't break the server. I do promise that. If I could help it, maybe have, if I did something like that, I'd have like somebody looking over my shoulder the whole time. But I decided to go with something that didn't need all that hassle, and I made it overworld based. And what I mean by that is this stray farm right here, it only spawns strays because it's in the snow. Because of this piece of glass here, when these lights are all off, which that's how I did the off switch, it's these lights. I actually need to make some carpet because there's a few points that when I turn it off, strays will spawn on top up here, more particularly on top of the lights over there with no redstone, because they're next to another light and it's a double. I'll show you in a second. But so these platforms here spawn stray on the strays spawn on them, little mix up there, and when those strays spawn, because there's this glass at where their head level is, it forces them over here. Now, I figured, and I was correct in figuring this, this was just a guess, I had no clue if this would work, but I saw that and I figured I could run these lights down like this, and it would allow me to do it, and it works too, because when these lights are on, these spaces are too bright to spawn. Right? I'm actually going to add a roof over top so that I don't even need, because his suggesting is to have your off switch be the daylight, sleep in a bed to turn it off. And my thought is that means potentially you could have it running when you don't mean to if it's close to your base or whatever. Like, we have these small claims here and we can't really build outside of them except for to do like collab things, which is really cool. I mean, they're talking about having a mini game section opening up, and I'm so excited because I love mini games. I love things with lights and redstone and all that stuff. It's just some of my favorite stuff to do. Who doesn't love, a house that you have to get into and solve redstone puzzles in order to get to the prize at the end. And, if you die, it's you're over, and you can charge diamonds for things like that. And diamonds are, well, I want to say diamonds are important, but I've made quite a few. They're useful for getting things that are, from other players, and they're useful currency, but they're not as key as everyone would lead you to believe. I've got everything I really need diamond-wise, so for me, they're only currency once I get my villager trading hall set up. All my armor, all my, pickaxes and stuff, I'll just be using weaponsmiths and blacksmiths and whatnot to make all that stuff. But now, as I was saying about this, since this glass is here, they'll spawn under there, and since this is one level above, it still leaves them their full space to spawn and fall. And here's a little off switch, on and off switch. Now whoops, I should learn to just not have those in my hand. When you turn it off, they all turn off, and because of the way redstone works, these lights are on without it, and this is where I'm going to need to add carpet, but these doubles here at this spot are just for show. But yeah, it's a pretty cool little thing that all of them spawn in there and they fall down into the water stream. And then come up this way, into this, and into the water stream here, which pushes them down. I've been having some issues with the mobs kind of jamming up here, and I'm thinking about trying to figure out a way to deal with that. The best way would be proper perimeter work, but, because I increased the amount of mobs that spawn, because as is right now, I get like 6 strays to spawn in at a time, if I'm lucky, because of all the mob proofing I need to do around it and underneath. But strays, when blown up by supercharged creeper, currently drop wither skulls, and it does not seem like that's going to be a thing that they're going to be changing. And so they can all come down here and fall in here, and then I have this beautiful little area right here that I've been working on. This may have to extend out, like, I'm thinking in this area a little bit back here, because we all know that, explosions go through blocks, and indestructible block doesn't necessarily stop the block on the other side from blowing up. At least anybody who's ever fought a wither yeah, it sucks. But so the supercharged creeper will be here. The mobs currently just strays, though I am thinking about either making a general mob farm, like way up top, even though I have the little mob farm here that makes my creepers, but like go up there above the spawn platform and make a general mob farm that drops mobs down a chute into here or something. I don't know, it was just a thought. It is not necessarily something that I'm guaranteed to do. But for the most part, you put a bucket of water right here, which is why these buttons, gotta love buttons, are here that do absolutely nothing but stop the water from coming through. And what that does is, when they fall down, they don't die. Now, I think I'm gonna have to remove the water before igniting the creeper, so it'll require a bucket and a flint and steel to operate. And I need to make a spot to stand that's an observation deck thing up here. Because the idea is I'm just going to sort my mobs using the old school bow method. Kill the mobs I don't want. Now the other thing is let's say it's raining, and that's usually when I'd be using this, is in the rain, once I have my perimeter underground and stuff done. So I'll have like a platform like up here a little bit higher, so I got a better angle. This quartz thing right here, the plan for this is I'm going to take and I'm going to add sticky pistons on top of that one, another block there, sticky piston touching that one, and it'll be extended, so what'll happen is, no, I heard him see me. So what'll happen is I can flick a switch and open and close the doors for that, so that the mobs will be stuck in that little crowded area back there, and the idea is they get flushed there, and I will take like a bow or something and take out like the skeletons or whatever. And when it's raining, I'll like pick one of the mobs, hope, if I have a few things other than creepers, and I'll take a trident with channeling, and I will turn them into supercharged creepers by hitting one of the other mobs, and the lightning will strike. And that's gonna be, fun way to do it, and it's gonna be entertaining, for I'll probably record a clip or two. But yeah, that's pretty much everything that I have to show here. I mean, other than, I've got this chorus fruit farm going on, so I can collect chorus flowers, chorus flute. Slack's right, words are hard. And then there's this, I've moved all my shulkers into here. I need to take out my decent ones and put them into an inner chest. I need to put an inner chest in here. And this is access, and this site has access to the back redstone for now, because then I'm going to extend it. But this is a cool little item sorter I made that you sort your items, and you can watch them flow through, and they flow through really fast. I mean, it's too fast. I had to slow down the dispenser clock. I did not set up my overflow control correctly, and I don't want things to flow so fast that they get missed out because they're not sorted through. So I slowed that down, and I'm going to change how I have things set up in here so that instead of, well, here, let me go back, and maybe one or two of them is still okay because I didn't have that many items or whatever. But oh yeah, it's down here. Down here's the access. Let me see. Is this one still? No. See, I had so many items in so many hoppers that it just, yeah, it took down my locked system. These are all supposed to have something here for filtering and have no empty space here so that the item filter works. I think, shot some filter blocks through, which is not a good thing. I may actually set up the first item filter as a filter, meaning it'll have nothing but filter block in it, so that if I do accidentally send filter through in the first run, it'll just come out that, and then later on I can switch it to something else. A temporary little thing here for catching. See here, I actually want to make a non-stackable item sorter. It's going to take a little bit more space than this does, or should I say a little more space than one of these units do, so it'll have its own little space here. And then after that, I'm going to continue on with extra item sorting. I was considering making a shulker loader as well. I mean, I have this as the base idea for loading up the sorted items. Put a shulker down here. And the item filter, that's pretty good. But all in all, yeah. But as I was saying, you would put the shulker box in here. The shulker box leads into a thing that's down here. As you see, there's the hopper back there. Here we go. I'm still maintaining it into this thing, which is your shulker unloader system. It's it's a classic system, works really well. Kind of sorts out the shulker boxes even. Because it's got its own non-stackable item filter, it'll take out non-stackable items and such. But sometimes when it's removing, like, let's say you have a sword that went through the system and it removes the sword as a non-stackable item, and let's say that was one of the last few items in the shulker box, sometimes the current overflows and it will just start dropping the items into that chest there, not sorting them. But or it'll make it unlocked as though it had the non-filtered item, and the shulker box will sometimes go through and the sword will get sorted there and the shulker box will get shot through, which can jam up these systems, which is one of the reasons why I want to make a non-stackable item sorter in the sorter, even though it's technically got one built into the shulker unloader system, because I want to make sure that as non-stackable items run through, they get shot out of the system before they end up to the shulker loader. The shulker loader will load my excess supplies, like say, if I have something that's not in my sorter, like netherrack, or something like that. I don't think it'll ever be netherrack not in the system. I'm going to put that in because you get so much of it, the same as stone and stuff. Ink sacks, there's a good example. ink sacs. I'll never be sorting ink sacs through an item sorter because I will never have that many ink sacs. So I actually have to buy them. There's no squid out here, you know. And luckily my main partner on this server, his name is Chris the Rock. He's helped me quite a bit when it comes to building this stray farm here, and so I'm considering him partnered. And well, I'll be honest, it's quite, you know, he's got a squid farm that's kind of broke. He's working on it, working on it, working on it, but I have confidence he'll get it running. But he has and sells ink sacs, so I'm sure I can make some deal with him. But like I said, ink sacs, I'll never have that many, so they'll come out the end into a shulker loader, and what that'll do is it'll just load up a shulker boxes and move on to the next and the next and the next shulker box, and it'll just be excess items. And since I'm having a non-stackable item sorter, and I also think I will do a couple 16 stack item sorters, where they sort the items that come out with 16. And no, I'm not saying they sort this ones that stack at 16 only. I'm saying they sort the ones that stack at 16 specifically, so I'll have to use specific ones for each item that only stacks 16. That way when you get to the shulker loader at the end, it's only stackable by 64 items, and that will cause the system to work flawlessly. The system will curve around here, come back to this way, partially onto this wall, and then drop down for my loading and storage, as well as how I have those things down there. I will have a storage system down there for my shulker loader. And it's going to be fun. I'm thinking about adding some lights that like detect when items pass by certain areas. Like when this activates, every time this dispenses an item, I might have a light that turns on to flashing to let you know items are still in the system. I'm thinking about having a light that turns on whenever there is a shulker box here inside of here with items in it to let you know that the system is running there too. I'm thinking about maybe trying to figure out some way even of detecting the items flowing across the sorter, across the water, and maybe like if I could figure if like there was a way and make like lights light up along here. You know what I mean? I mean that would be awesome. I don't think I can do that last part, but I'll at least make a series of lights up here, I think, on the tip top. The roof, I'm thinking one more higher for my ceiling here. This would be ceiling level right here. So put white concrete right here so that this is where those lights will go. That maybe when it's running, I'll just have it running a pulse signal, and it'll just go kind of like a loading bar. Like I said, I love mini games, love redstone. And then everything will sort into here. Like I said, I overflow controlled this wrong and completely broke it earlier. But it's a good system. So I've been recording straight solid, and I'm just going to make this one solid video. And I want to thank you for watching the tour of what I've done here. You know, you guys are awesome, the very few of you that actually watch my videos. I'm really appreciative of anybody watching my videos. I mean, I don't see myself being some big hotshot YouTuber in the future, but you know, that's okay, you know? This is mostly for me, I mean, honestly. But it's also for you guys. This is also for my server mates. This is, you know, it's fun. And it's really been good doing this the past few months, and I've been enjoying putting out the videos, and I hope to see you all again at some point watching my videos. And, you know, if you really, you know, if you like what I'm doing here, you know, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, you know, all those little things and dings, and look out in the future, because I'm going to start streaming on Twitch, I think, because Twitch seems to be the better streaming service. And, you know, as always, goodbye and good luck.